101.3 KOXE 732 on a beautiful Friday morning, a Friday, and on the phone, as promised, Congressman August Pfluger with us. Good morning, sir. Thank you for taking time.
Well, good morning. Good morning to everybody in the area, and appreciate you having me on this morning.
You got it. First of all, happy Father's Day weekend to you. And before we get into kind of the meatier issues, I got to say, a lot of people saw that play at third base you made in that congressional baseball game. Was it Brooks Robinson out there, Mike Schmidt, or that was you, wasn't it?
Well, that was great. Look, some people have told me that the baseball game is more important than legislating. I'm not sure that's true for everybody, but this is 5 in a row that I've played in. The bases were loaded, and took a dive at it, and had that ball gotten through. That was the first inning. The Democrats probably would have scored at least 2, maybe 3 runs, and the game could have been different. But what a fun game. Over 100 years. We're on a 5-win winning streak. And it was, I got to say, it was a dominant performance. And we hope that translates to legislation. We looked like a team. We acted like a team. We were unified. The Democrats came out. They were wearing, any jersey they wanted, looking completely disheveled. I would say rudderless, without a coach. That was really unifying them, and we really looked like a functioning team, and it was a lot of fun.
And you got MVP, right?
I did get the MVP. That was a lot of fun. I dedicated it to our coach, Roger Williams, who recently lost his wife, and he puts a lot of time into baseball, was a TCU baseball player, and played in the major leagues as well.
So did you play in high school and college?
I did, and played a little bit at the Air Force Academy. Had some injuries that prevented, full 4 years, but what a neat time to come out at 47 years old and be able to play in a major league stadium in front of 25,000 people.
That was a great snag down that third baseline. That was a great grab. Moving on, you sponsored a bill recently, which the House passed, aiming to overturn a local D.C. law that would bar non-citizens from voting. Is that just D.C. specific, or is that barring non-citizens from voting across the country?
Well, it's D.C. specific because Congress actually has jurisdiction over Washington, D.C., and while we don't like to meddle in the matters of the local communities, this is an important one. Yep. And we passed this bill last year. I passed it again this week. And I got to tell you, we had 56 Democrats. Every single Republican, no surprise, voted to ban non-citizens. But we had 56 Democrats who also joined to ban non-citizens from voting. We're not just talking about illegal immigrants here, folks. We're also talking about people who work at the Chinese and Russian embassies. We're talking about foreign agents. We're talking about anybody who's not a citizen. And it tells you we're right on the mark, that this was a ridiculous policy passed by the Washington, D.C. City Council. Even the mayor opposed it. So we're working with the Senate. We really want to get this thing passed in the Senate, signed into law, and set the example for the rest of the country that you need to be a citizen to vote, even in local elections. Don't go down the path of San Francisco, allowing illegal aliens or foreign agents to vote. Raise the stakes and elevate this issue to citizenship, to say that being a citizen of this great country is the ultimate objective. And it's so precious that we're going to reserve voting, obviously on the federal level, but even at the local level in some of these blue cities, sanctuary cities who have gone astray. So this is a really, really good bipartisan bill, and I think it's a nonpartisan issue. I think this is an American issue. I was proud to lead it.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a huge issue. I can't wrap my brain around why anybody would want a non-citizen to vote in our elections, but that seems to be a push from the left. We talked a little bit off mic before we came on about the Doge cuts. There was a bill. Was there a bill to codify those?
Well, there sure were. Yeah. Almost $10 billion. Doge has been working hard to garner savings and looking at efficiencies throughout the government. And it's taken a few months, but yes, just yesterday we voted in the House. We'll send it to the Senate. $9.4 billion. And look, I mean, this is a first step, but this is the executive branch who has had money appropriated from Congress, and they are saying, they're raising the white flag, saying, this money hasn't gone out. It's not obligated. We don't need it. It was fraud, waste, and abuse in the first place. Have it back. so Congress is pulling that back. It only takes 51 votes in the Senate, so we expect that will pass in the Senate. And I expect that we're going to do more of this. The American public deserves us to put a fine-tooth comb over the money that has gone out, to really start looking and being accountable for what we're spending taxpayer money on. And I'm proud that we're able to do this. I mean, this hasn't happened in decades, and there's more savings to come. Obviously, in the One Big Beautiful Bill, we're going to garner $1.6 to $1.7 trillion of savings in that One Big Beautiful Bill. It is so critical that every single Republican come together to extend the tax cuts, to fund the border wall, to garner the savings, to recapitalize our military. It goes hand in hand with what we passed this week.
Were you even surprised at the waste and fraud that was found by Elon Musk and his crew?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, not surprised, but shocked by it, And look, I served in the military, and 20 years ago, I mean, there was this thought process of if you don't spend it, you're going to lose it. So people, these organizations were kind of forced by the politicals in the DOD to just spend the money that they had on ridiculous stuff and not things that were making us better warfighters, not things that were making us more lethal and more ready. And that mentality, that culture has to stop. When the warfighter needs something, they need to raise their hand and they need to say, please send us the right weapons and the right gear and things that make us better at our jobs. And I guarantee you, every American can get behind that. But when all these agencies, DOD included, spend on ridiculous stuff and just expand a jobs program without real effects, without enhancing the services that are being provided for Americans through any agency, then I have a problem with that.
We're talking to Congressman August Pfluger on the morning show today. We have him for just a couple more minutes. Boy, it's been a busy week with the riots in L.A. We learned last night that Israel struck Iran. Let's touch on the riots really quick, if you don't mind. I thought Governor Abbott had a strong comment on that. That's not going to happen in Texas. What happened in L.A., right?
Well, no. I mean, and that's clear because we value law and order,
yes.
And that type of disorder would never happen. This is being fomented by radical leftists. I had a hearing this week on anti-Semitism, and it's the same people. The anti-ICE people are the same people as the anti-Semitism people. And the unfortunate thing is, in cities like Los Angeles, they don't control it. They let it get out of control, and it's really too bad. And it's just one of those things where the Los Angeles district attorney and all those that are in power don't have the political will to stand up to the radical left.
And it's more than just a radical left, too. It seems like that judges are making these crazy decisions to limit President Trump's authority on that matter. Will President Trump, do you think he's just going to get litigated just for the next 4 years? All these crazy judges?
Well, certainly they want to, and they just can't take it. The fact that he is establishing, law and order and making decisions to keep our country safe and deporting criminals and gang members. It's just, what do they want? I know what we want. We want safety and security. We want entry into this country to be in an orderly process. What do they want? And I think the answer is very clear. They want to destroy the rule of law, and we want to preserve it. So there is going to be a fight over that.
Yeah, there will be. I just got a text from somebody that had a question. They joined the conversation just a little bit late, and they wanted to know the status of the big, beautiful bill that is in the Senate right now.
Well, we voted it out of the House. We passed it a couple of weeks ago. The Senate is looking at it. We have warned the Senate to not make major material changes to this bill. We need to garner the $1.6 trillion in savings. We need to reform Medicaid to deliver for patients that truly deserve it. We need to make sure that our military gets the resources, that our Border Patrol gets the resources they need to keep our country safe. And we need to make sure that the tax cuts that President Trump passed in 2017 are still delivered to the American public. That is the main objective. We're going to do that. And we're putting a lot of pressure on the Senate to get this done expeditiously. The president's goal was July 4th. We'll see how that goes. That's coming up pretty quick.
Yeah, it is.
But I'm hopeful, and I do think that this is going to get done. It's just in the Senate's hands right now, so a little bit out of my control. However, we are messaging and going on TV, pushing as hard as we can, having conversations. I meet with the speaker every single week in a very small group because I'm chairman of the Republican Study Committee. I have a seat at the table where we discuss these very things. It is good for this district. It's good for Brownwood and San Angelo. It's good for our oil and gas industry, and America needs it.
7:43 at KOXE. Congressman August Pfluger on the phone with us just for a couple more minutes. Are you going to get out the grill for Father's Day weekend?
Well, that would be nice. We're going to spend a little time with family and enjoy it. We've been 6 months now of what I call full afterburner. So we're going to take the time to just celebrate as a family, being together, and I hope everybody will do that to celebrate all the fathers that are out there. Thank you for the example you provide to your families. I think one of the issues we have in this country is in a lot of areas, and not in the area that I represent, but in a lot of areas that fathers aren't there, and I think that's why our area is so great, because fathers are, and they're the role model for their family with the love and the attention that they need. So it's a pleasure to be on. It is an honor to serve in Congress, to come to Washington, D.C., and to cast votes that make our country better and that represent the district that I live in, that I grew up in, and that I love so much. So I appreciate you having me on today.
You bet. Thank you again, Congressman. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. God bless.